Welcome back, travel bugs. We landed in Lima, Peru in December of 2025. We spent 14 amazing days pretty much eating throughout Lima and exploring a lot of town. I'm Jenna, your full-time pharmacist and part-time explorer. And today I'm handing out the ultimate prescription for a perfect day in Lima, Peru. From the famous cat-filled gardens of Kennedy Park to the dramatic cliffside views of Larcomar and the hidden gems of the historic city center. We're walking the streets to make sure we get our steps in, and we're showing you what's worth the hype and what to skip. So let's get exploring. We are starting this Lima journey today in the heart of Miraflores at Kennedy Park.
It's Minchi.
It's famous for two things: beautiful greenery and a massive population of friendly resident cats. They are everywhere, lounging on benches, hiding in flower beds, and definitely expecting a pet or two.
It's a calico cat. Hey, baby. Hi, baby.
Now this park is typically also a street food heaven. Keep an eye out for picarones Mary or the dulce limeño dessert stand, or even grab a butifara, which is a classic Peruvian ham sandwich. We visited during Christmas, so the vendors were home with their families, but the park area was still vibrant and lots of people were walking around. Oh, she's stuck. I don't think they can actually. Oh. Oh.
I told you, look. You saw that? All of a sudden, she's lower. Bam. Professional.
Dang.
Hi, baby.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
In addition to the famous kitties, make sure you don't miss the beautiful neo-Gothic church at the edge of the park. Word on the street says the parish actually took care of abandoned cats that were dropped off decades ago, and that's why this park is so feline friendly today.
Hi.
Since we couldn't get to try all of the good foods in the park, we went on a coffee and dessert hunt after finding all the cute kitties. So finding open shops during the holidays is a challenge. So this part was a lot of walking for us. Our first search was for Milimetrica coffee. Spoiler, it was closed. But that did lead us to stumble upon some hidden gems on Calle Alcanfores. We found this cute plaza that had a little cake shop, local silver jewelers, and also down the street from some great Pima cotton stores. So when you're walking this area, make sure to keep an eye out for the cute boutiques that you may be walking by. So in the touristy areas, actually almost everywhere takes card. So you actually don't need to exchange much cash or even carry much cash with you or around. The exception is that if you're doing a tour or maybe having a small service that you want to tip for, you can do this in cash. You do not need to tip at most places in Peru, but at nice restaurants, it is sort of expected to do a 10% tip, and that's what locals do. As we continued walking further away, you can find bigger stores of all kinds, even a casino or two. Most notably, we noticed alpaca wool stores and different kinds of shoe stores. We didn't get anything, but it was fun to browse, and I imagine if you're not headed here during the holidays, it is much more lively. So now we're trying to go to our third coffee shop on Christmas Eve at 4 or 5 p.m., 5 p.m. probably, and everything's closed. We eventually found 2 open coffee shops, which were okay, but the real winner was this dessert churros place called Manolo. My husband's family lives here in Peru, and this was one of their top recommendations. you have to get the dulce de leche churros, which is different from the churros that we have here in the States often because these ones are actually filled with different flavors. If you want to see our full food crawl, check out my Lima food tour video linked above. And now we're heading for a straight shot towards the ocean. My mother-in-law warned us that we need to stay on the main path because if you take a path that declines too early, you'll end up on the lower coast roads instead of the Love Park cliffs, which is where we're headed. So from Kennedy Park, it's an easy 15-minute walk to the cliffs. This is Parque del Amor, which is Love Park, and this is heavily inspired by Gaudi's style in Barcelona. But the time of love will never return. The Pacific views are stunning, especially at sunset. But honestly, I wouldn't plan my whole day around it or go out of my way to see this park. But since we're here, and if you're in Miraflores, definitely worth a quick visit for a great sunset view. From there, it's a short walk south to Larcomar, which is about 10 to 15 minutes. So this is going to be passing by a bridge that is sort of narrow but not unsafe. Just make sure if you're walking in a large group or if there's a large group walking past you to be cognizant that it's kind of narrow. So as you can see, by the time we left the Love Park, it was getting dark. And as two girls walking from Love Park to Larcomar, we felt pretty safe, although we still kept our eyes on the surrounding. There were lots of people either running or enjoying the weather because it was a beautiful summer day. So this area of Lima is very affluent. It kind of feels like a mixture between Beverly Hills and New York City, but on the coastline. So Larcomar is literally a mall built into the side of a cliff, which is crazy to think about. It's one of the most unique layouts I've ever seen, and while they do house a lot of international brands, I'd actually recommend hitting up one of the local malls for the best Peruvian labels, which is in my next video. So the next day it was Christmas and we're headed to the historic center. So usually the traffic here is a nightmare, but today the streets were empty. We drove past the National Stadium, which holds over 60,000 people. The entry to the center of Lima.
To your right, you will see the Palace of Justice.
So as you enter from the south, you can't miss the massive Palace of Justice to the right. So this is home to Peru's Supreme Court. And a fun fact is there's actually 18 permanent justices here compared to the 9 that we have in the United States. But the judicial structure is not exactly like they do have in the US. So in front of that, or adjacent to it, is actually the French-inspired Rimac building. So this is actually one of the most photographed spots in the city.
They're gonna make this underneath is a hub for the train station.
Used to be a movie theater to the right here. We do a quick drive-by around the main square, which is Plaza Mayor, and this is a spectacular place that feels like you were transported to Europe a few decades ago.
There's a Club de Reunión, the one that came.
This is the birthplace of the city, but for a while these buildings actually were abandoned as people moved towards the coast. But the area has been beautifully restored starting from a few decades ago during Peru's economic boom.
The thing about downtown Lima is the streets just get closed, like for whatever reason.
Christmas Day.
Nunca lo he visto así.
I've never seen it like this.
So after parking, we are exploring now on foot. The streets here are beautiful. I can't imagine how busy it must be on a regular day, but to come during the holidays was so peaceful to just admire the architecture. You can walk or drive past these wood-carved balconies, and it really just kind of shows how lavish these homes were in their prime. For a fun fact for my fellow real estate lovers is these houses often have historical designations which can offer tax breaks for those who restore them. So we were looking to get lunch at a place in the square called El Chinito, which is right next to the church. But unfortunately, this was also closed. Oh no, no Chinitos. They say it's closed today?
Peter is having Christmas.
In the main square where El Chinito is, you have the Cathedral of Lima and the government palace right here. It is huge, so we did not get to walk around the full thing, but we did show you guys this by car, and this is the exact same plaza. So just a heads up, we didn't know this, but if you want to go into the cathedral, you're going to have to plan ahead because you will need a guide to get in. We tried to sweet talk them in Spanish, but unfortunately it was a no-go. So the Lima Cathedral is a massive Roman Catholic church, and it dominates the whole east side of the square. It houses the tomb of Francisco Pizarro, who is the Spanish conquistador who founded Lima in 1535. That's probably why it's so protected and you need a guide to get in. On the north side of the plaza is the government palace, which is the official residence and headquarters of the president of Peru. Look, it's the Museo del Pez Pisco. Wow. Oh, wow.
Esa es una capilla.
Our final stop of the day was to head to Chinatown. So I wanted to kind of see what a South American Chinatown looked like. And so we walked about 20 minutes from the main square, passing the central bank and the Holy Inquisition building, which was the actual site of the Spanish Inquisition in Peru until 1820. Obviously not the same building though. So actually this square where the central bank and the Holy Inquisition building is actually holds a lot of protests. So we saw a riot patrol car ready in case anything were to erupt, which is kind of interesting and scary at the same time. Just empty. Yeah. Cafarma. Cafarema. We actually haven't really seen any like coffee shops that are open. Oh, 1833. He's the most famous what? Author. His birthplace. Ricardo Palma. We passed the central market, which was humongous. So this place is normally a bustling spot for produce and food stalls, but for Christmas it was actually closed. So if you are visiting this place when it's open, make sure to hold your bags close, as the commotion can be a prime spot for pickpocketers. Oh, Chinatown. Dude, Chinatown always has these gates. So the central market was just on the way and around the corner from Lima's Chinatown, better known as Barrio Chino. Hey guys, today we're going to Chinatown in Lima. The red gates here is actually the iconic shot, as in most Chinatowns. This is known as the Arco Chino, and it's actually cool because this was a donation 150 years after Lima's Chinatown started coming together. So this was a gift from the Chinese community in 1971 and has been here ever since. So compared to US Chinatowns, this place is actually pretty small. It's dominated by casinos and chifas, which is the Chinese Peruvian fusion food. So there wasn't much to see on Christmas Day in Chinatown, but it was still really cool getting to see what that history feels like. That's the Peruvian type of cat. So if you are visiting here, make sure to look on the floor because they actually have the 12 Chinese zodiac signs. So make sure to look for your year. So one thing that I did read that we didn't get to find, but maybe next time, is there's actually a hidden temple formed in 1881 on one of the upper floors of these buildings. So make sure to keep an eye out for that if you are headed to Barrio Chino. So doing all of these things from Kennedy Park to Larcomar to exploring the city historic center will definitely take you a full day. Beautiful. Lima is a city of incredible layers, of incredible history, from the modern cliffs of Miraflores to the deep history of the Plaza Mayor.
This is cool. It's like a walking mirror.
Even with the holiday closures, the architecture and the energy of this city was undeniable. If you enjoyed this walkthrough, make sure to hit that subscribe button for more travel guides and logistical tips. And if you're hungry for more, check out my Lima food tour, linked right here below, where we dive into the flavors that make this city the culinary capital of the world. And we spent 2 weeks eating throughout Lima. So thanks so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like it, and I will see you in the next one. Safe travels!